everyone. Welcome to another amazing episode of AWS Shapers Tech Skills. I'm Jigna. You might have seen me in the previous episodes, a solution architect from AWS, and I'm here with my wonderful co-host Jiwon.
Hi everyone, Yeom, Solutions Architect here at AWS, and we are so happy that you're tuning in today. So, if this is your first time listening, this show is really all about amplifying the voices of women in technology, sharing their journeys, their insights, and their advices to other fellow women in tech.
Yes, for sure. Thank you so much for kicking that off. I guess let's talk a little bit about what we are gonna do today. So, as you can imagine, one of the biggest topics we have seen across the tech industry right now is AI. But here is the truth: AI doesn't work in a vacuum, right? So the real foundation is the impact it creates to build great products and obviously utilizing the power of data. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, plus one to all the things that you just said. And what is also very fascinating is how this applies across the industries. Like, let's say, take financial services or home ownership, for example, like mortgages, real estate, and insurance. We see like the common adoption of AI across all those sub verticals of industries, and that is really taking off. And these industries are generating massive amounts of data. And we are challenged what we observe also across the industry is that the making that data usable, cleaning it, connecting it, and aligning it with the right applications.
Exactly. And like what fascinating is, how this applies across industries, right? I mean, pick any industry like retail, financial service, or even home ownership, for example, like mortgages, real estate, and insurance. This definitely generates so much of data, but like once you have that solid foundation, I think AI can do incredible things. Personalizing customer experience, simplifying complex workflows, and even predicting what could resonate with the customers. And that's where the real transformation happens, not just in the efficiency but also in the trust and accessibility.
Mhm, mhm. Yes, and today's conversation is really timely in that sense because we are going to hear from someone who is leading exactly at this intersection, turning the data into real customer value through AI and product innovations.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, to our audience, we recently had a great conversation with Faline Wu. She is a senior vice president of product management at Better, and Better is one of the leading organization transforming the home ownership experience, and from mortgages to real estate, insurance, inspection, and settlement, and I'm sure so much more. So yeah, I'm really excited to show that.
Yeah, and Pauline has such an incredible background in product management, analytics, also, and she has been driving innovations in a space that touches so many lives. So let's bring up our amazing conversation for our audience, and we are super excited.
Yeah, let's dig in. Everyone. Welcome to another amazing episode of AWS Shibbles Tech Skills. I also have Jivan with me, my amazing friend and my co-host for today. Today we have a special guest from Better. They are one of the leading organizations serving our home ownership needs such as mortgage, real estate, insurance, inspection, settlement, and so much more. And we have Faline Wu, the Senior Vice President of Product Management, with us today. Faline, thank you so much for joining us. Can you share a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Yeah. Thank you for having me. So currently, I'm the senior vice president of product management team here at Better, and Better is basically the online digital mortgage product that we serve literally thousands, millions of Americans here, just basically helping them to make home ownership better, cheaper, faster, and just it's such an important step in their financial lives. So very proud to be part of this journey, and hopefully we'll be able to share a lot of great insight and exciting stories with everyone today.
I'm pretty sure you will. And one thing I noticed about your portfolio and what I found very fascinating was the diverse background. So you had product management backgrounds and also analytics. So, what inspired you to pursue a career in tech, and how you ended up leading the product charter in Better?
Sure, yeah. So what really drew me to tech and ultimately product management was the scale of impact that it can have on people's life. So very early on in my career, it's just a little bit background about myself actually here. So very early on in my career, I interned at IBM and later built the first CRM system back at Procter and Gamble. And that's when it really clicked for me. It's just technology is not just about efficiency or automation. It is a very powerful tool to improve quality of life at scale. And that really resonates with one of my core values, which is using my work to make the world a better place. And I wanted to be in a role where I could bring together people, process, and technology to drive meaningful impact. And product management was exactly that. So I was very grateful that for my time at Capital One, that's working in data analytics, that gave me a very structured, disciplined approach for problem solving, basically learning how to break down complex challenges, think logically, and use data to guide decision. And those skills stuck with me and really shape how I approach product strategy. And honestly, no matter what industry, those fundamental things are always relevant. And ever since then, I have led product across a range of different industries, from online advertising platform to construction SaaS. And each time, what drew me in was that opportunity to solve real problems for people. And when I came across Better, it just feels like the perfect fit because the mortgage industry, mortgage space is so pivotal in people's financial lives, but it's being historically underserved by tech. And the process just often very frustrating, confusing, and slow, and which just shouldn't be the case, right? For something that's so important. So when I learned about Better's mission to make home ownership simpler, faster, and more accessible, it just really stood out. Even a small improvement in this space can have a huge impact on people's lives. And I think with my background with product and data, I feel that I could help basically pushing that transformation forward. So it's been an amazing journey ever since, working with incredibly talented teams to reimagine what a better mortgage experience can look like. And we're still pushing that forward as we speak.
I love how you have the core mental model kind of penetrates through the entire like cross industries,
Mhm.
and I believe your previous experience have kind of shaped your mindset for driving innovation. How do you think the relevance from your previous experience bringing to Better's experience as of now?
Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, my background in data, right, that has played a huge role in shaping how I approach product development and innovation. So I always believe that numbers provide one of the most objective and reliable foundation for strategy, whether that's identify user pain points, prioritizing features, or measuring outcomes. Data is always at the core on how I make decisions as much as possible. Though there are times that just we just don't have enough number, right? So that's an art, a dance between like objective and subjective together. But at the same time, building great product goes far beyond just numbers, because over the years I have a lot of opportunity to work with large cross-functional teams, engineer, design, ops, legal, sales, you name it. And that has taught me how critical alignment is. So one of my priorities is always to make sure that we are truly listening to our customers, our stakeholders, our partners, and our internal teams. So that means identifying not just the external pain points, but also the internal inefficiencies and build solutions that works for everyone. And naturally, I'm a pretty empathetic person. So naturally, I try to put myself in the shoes of both our users and our internal teams, because I really believe that if we take care of our people, right, the operator behind the scenes, then they will take care of our customers. So that's why our product roadmap always strike a balance between customer facing innovation and internal tooling or process improvement. And when it comes to innovation, especially in this era of AI with all the tech advancement, I have learned that customers often cannot tell you what they want next because they don't really know yet what's possible, right? So instead of waiting for a perfect answer, which we probably will never get, we really focus on quick iteration. So if we spot something that has the potential to elevate the customer experience, to improve their efficiency, we build a quick POC, a proof of concept, test it in the market, learn and iterate. And that mindset has really helped us at Better here to stay ahead, especially in the AI adoption, where we have already seen significant improvement and impact across both customer experience and internal operational efficiency. And it's been just incredibly rewarding to see how this balanced, pragmatic, and human-centered approach to product management has helped us to consistently delivering value and move the needle.
I have one quick question here since you talked about innovation, and I think there are two ways of looking at it. And since you are like a senior vice president for product development at Better, I'm pretty sure you are leading a very large team. Can you talk about like what are some of the strategies do you use to foster innovation in your team itself, and how you ensure your team is also aligned with the broader company goals?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I said that because mortgage industry is not exactly known for being fast moving or innovative, right? There's just a lot of legacy history, like people are set in the way that they do this. But here at Better Mortgage, we have built a culture that really challenges that. We move very quickly and we treat innovation as a core competitive advantage. But that said, though, it's not always easy. Actually, it's never easy in this industry. But when the team is under pressure and deadlines are tight, it's very tempting to just focus on getting to the next release out of the door, right? But I actually see that this kind of high pressure moments as a chance of unlock creativity. I will ask my team questions like, well, what would it take to ship this in one sprint? And that simply shift the mindset, like that shift in framing push them to think differently, and usually it leads to very bold simplification. Do we really need this process or not? Instead of thinking through how do we automate it, maybe we just can eliminate that totally. And so this kind of simplification, smarter automation, or better architectural decision to help both improving speed and quality, right? So with that right mindset, pressure is not always just stress. It can also be the driver for innovation. But beyond that, though, I rely on a few foundational strategies to ensure that innovation is consistent and aligned with the company goal. So first is innovation with a purpose. Just we cannot really innovate for the sake of innovation. It's very easily to get distracted to the next shiny toys and just try to build it. But every idea really must tie back to a real customer need or real business objective, right? That's why we spend a lot of effort on regular prioritization to make sure we focus on the most critical problem first. And then we encourage the moonshot thinking by just grounded in data and customer insight to keep it really meaningful. And second is cross-functional alignment. Like that, I'm just passionate about that because innovation is not just a technology problem, right? It's a dance across technology, people, and process. And at Better, I spent a lot of effort intentionally include stakeholders from sales, operation, compliance, customer support in our early product thinking. And by bringing all these voices into the room, we design solutions that's not only technically elegant, but also operationally scalable and customer-centric. And most important thing is that people can adapt those, right? It's not just a code that we push out to production and doesn't go anywhere. So that alignment ensures that we are not just shipping features. We are delivering the right experience with the right business outcome. And this is not a one-time deal. We try to foster this culture by creating a forum for ongoing conversation across those teams. And the last part is just also create a safe space to fail and learn fast. I focus very heavily on create this psychological safety So the team feels like they are empowered to experiment, to be scrappy, and launch quickly to gain real world feedback versus just trying to sit there, like pull the hair out, trying to figure out what to do, right? Because with the technology evolving so quickly, we often don't know upfront, like what will resonate with customers or what the real risk will be, or even what are the new technology that may come up in a matter of 2 weeks, right? So that's why we build in iteration. And by launching this kind of innovative solution in phases, we can validate the assumption, gather insight, and make very fast data-informed decision while we de-risk as much as possible.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I know you mentioned a little bit on the technology pieces, how it's integrated, but we would love to know a little bit more. Like, how do you incorporate like cloud technologies like AWS to drive innovation in your products?
Yeah, so one of our standout example is our in-house pricing and eligibility engine. We call that DEEP, DEEP. Most mortgage companies rely on third-party pricing providers, but we build DEEP from the ground up in-house. And that gives us a massive advantage because we can access and update pricing much faster and also deliver more accurate real-time pricing to our customers. And a big reason that we have been able to scale deep so successfully is the AWS infrastructure that it's built on. We use services like Lambda and API Gateway to host the engine, which gives us the speed and the scalability that we need in order to respond to a large volume of pricing requests instantaneously. And when it comes to updating pricing, we have to do it both proactively and reactively. So some investors' rate sheet are pushed to us via email, literally, like they send us spreadsheet and we just have to process them. So we use AWS SES to monitor those messages, trigger Lambda, and store the update data in S3 bucket. And others we put directly using scheduled CloudWatch triggers and Lambda function to ensure our pricing is always up to date. So it is a flexible, event-driven approach that we have been replicated across other parts of our platform where automation is the key. And on the data side, we use our database. We host our database in AWS Aurora and RDS, which makes integration with other AWS tools seamless. And when we need to do analysis or run ad hoc queries, we use the Athena to quickly get insights. So ultimately, AWS allows us to move fast and innovate continuously. And it is not just infrastructure. It is the key enabler for our product strategy. And by building this kind of capability in-house, we are not just keeping up, right? We are pushing that industry forward. And that's a very exciting foundation that we're very proud of.
We are also very proud to hear your story at AWS.
Mhm.
And I know it is era of AI, and there is not a single day goes by without saying generative AI. So I would love to hear your take on, especially for the examples that you brought the AI into, let's say, improving customer experiences or any other fields that better.
Yeah, so it's a topic very dear to my heart. We started our AI journey very early here at Better. We recognized early on that it is not just a trend or a fancy topic in the news. It's a transformational opportunity to reimagine the customer experience in an industry that just traditionally has so much friction and delay. So we started our AI journey well ahead of the curve. And one of our most impactful breakthrough has been the launch of Betsy, our AI-powered voice assistant, voice agent for the mortgage customers. So last spring, we make a huge leap. We became the first in the industry to roll out an AI mortgage voice agent that could handle outbound calls at scale. So just picture this, right? Someone submit a mortgage application online, and then literally within a second, it's 600 milliseconds to be precise.
Wow.
So within 0.6 seconds, you receive a call, and that's Betsy, our AI assistant, having a very natural human sounding conversation with them. And that response was incredible. People were surprised, and in a good way, on how fast we follow up and how smooth that whole interaction felt. We literally build the chit chat functionality as well. There are customers having a very natural conversation, ask Betsy all kinds of questions about mortgage and for different kind of loan option, what kind of document they need to submit. So, and at any time they want, there literally was a lady pick up, like make a phone call. She was surprised we pick it up at 11:30 p.m. And Betsy resolved a lot of questions for her just right on the spot. So that was amazing. And ever since then, we have rapidly scaled Betsy's capability across both outbound and inbound use cases. So today, customers can actually complete their entire mortgage application over the phone by just talking to Betsy from anywhere, anytime that's convenient for them. So you literally call and just say, I want a HELOC. Then Betsy's gonna start asking you for your name, address, property, estimate value, like just go through the entire process. So for something as complex and as emotionally challenged as buying a home or refinance, this kind of accessibility and convenience is going to be a game changer. You can literally apply a mortgage from a beach when you're on vacation, just talk for like 10 minutes.
And that is impressive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just the response time and the way that you change the interaction just throughout the whole mortgage application and also getting the consultation. It is just amazing. And what I noticed from talking to multiple customers is not only they need to kind of learn the AI skills, those type of innovation can only happen if you have the right data foundation. So
yes,
that your story tells me that Better has really good data strategy as well. So how do you ensure that Better has the right data infrastructure and the quality in place to support those type of AI initiatives? And I'm pretty sure there has been some challenges for you. So how do you align those things for AI?
Yeah, totally. And by the way, there are actually a little bit more pieces for the AI part that I'm just gonna edit in, and then I will add into the data foundational thing because this all linked together. So
okay.
Yeah. So other than the AI voice agent, we didn't stop just there because that's very customer facing innovation. We have also made a lot of progress internally by leveraging AI to supercharge our team. So one example is that our AI review underwriting system, which enables accurate, instantaneous underwriting decision that cutting down the cycle time and reducing error. And we also launched our internal facing version of Betsy, a very powerful AI chat assistant that support our agent by helping them understand the loan file, generate different kind of loan restructure suggestions. So we don't need to suspend a customer if we can find creative solution for them, and basically resolve customers' issue faster. So this kind of internal efficiencies are not just about cost saving. It's really directly translate into a better customer experience, right? It's faster decision, fewer hangoff, and also more personalized support across the team. So that's the magic of AI. It's not just automating tasks, but it's elevating the entire journey for customer and empower our team to deliver a better, faster, smarter service. And Jiwon, to your question in terms of like how do we build a foundation, right? Because without the right data, without the right underlying data, like any AI initiative is not going to be successful. That's the foundation. High quality, well structured, and deeply integrated data. And what sets Better apart is that we operate on a homegrown origination system. We call that Team Man, which means we own and control the full customer data lifecycle in one unified platform. So from the moment a lead is captured through application, underwriting, closing, and even post-closing and servicing, all this data lives in one place. So unlike the traditional mortgage lender that rely on fragmented third-party systems and complex integration, we don't need to waste time syncing data across different silos. So that gave us a massive advantage because it's not just the speed, but also the consistency and accuracy and the depth of the data that we can use to power AI. So So that strong foundation is what allow us to roll out some of these truly groundbreaking capabilities. But I want to be real because we work in a very highly regulated space. So we cannot just move fast and break things. So when we are building our AI system to make critical underwriting decision, for example, we have to get it right, right? So that means making sure everything is accurate and it's auditable, and also have like fully compliant with the rules and the regulation. So that's why when we kick off the underwriting AI review underwriting project, we took time to build it right. We invested upfront, like in defining the right parameter, building a rock solid testing framework, a lot of manual, like a lot of effort going into that, and putting into the proper guardrail in place so we can trust the outcome. And that's just a huge cross-functional lift. That links back to my comment earlier about cross-functional alignment, right? It has to be it's super detailed and time consuming, but it's being worth it. And now we have a system that literally can underwrite a loan in seconds. So to me, that's the next gen of AI like should look like, is that it's just not about speed or automation. It's just about a smart, responsible system built on great data and deep expertise. And at Better, I'm just very proud that we are able to take that challenge and keep setting that standard and move forward.
That's really amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. For the geeky folks like me, it's yeah. I mean, I would be really curious to see, like, how how the overall workflow, processes end to end, and what are the major components and all that. By any chance, do you want to share like a architecture diagram or something like that?
Yeah, sure. So let me put this on the screen. So here on the screen, you can see that our entire platform is fully cloud native, built on a mix of managed AWS services and a Kubernetes-based microservices architecture. And that setup gives us the speed, scalability, and resilience that we need to move fast and stay reliable. So we use a range of AWS tools to power different parts of our stack, like the Lambda for event-driven text, RDS for our databases, and Elastic Cache to keep things running fast. And for security and network control, we rely on VPCs, AWS WAF for app level protection, and Route 53 for DNS. And messaging and orchestration are big deals for us. And we use SQS and Amazon MQ to keep our services decoupled and communicating smoothly, and SWF and Kinesis to handle complex workflows and real-time data. And that helps us to stay responsive and scalable, especially as the workloads grow. And everything runs on Kubernetes, so which lets our team to deploy microservices independently, scale quickly, and iterate with confidence. And this foundation is very critical because it helps us to move fast across all the different teams, all the initiatives without breaking things. And by blending the managed service with flexible infrastructure, we are able to deliver innovation quickly while stay secure and reliable. And that's exactly what we need in this space as demanding as the mortgage and the financial industry.
Thank you so much for sharing that architecture. It really helps us to paint the picture. If I have to ask one more question, like looking into the future, since you have already made so many enhancements, how do you see that the mortgage industry specifically is gonna continue to evolve with like latest advancements in the technology, and what role do you think that Better will play in the transformation?
Yes. So, like I said earlier, the mortgage industry is one of the most tech underserved and heavily regulated sector of the financial services, right? So, while it doesn't move at the same speed as some other industries due to compliance constraints and legacy infrastructure, the direction of transformation is just inevitable. Automation and intelligent system would define the future. That's for sure. So automation is critical, and it's not just as a productivity driver, but also as a mechanism to really quickly improve the customer experience. We all know how stressful it is, right, to get a mortgage if any of us have gone through that process. And at its core, a mortgage is a deeply personal and highly stakes transaction. So every minute that we can shave off the cycle time, every document that we can auto verify or even not have to ask, or any intelligent prompt that remove customer confusion, right? That will translate into a much better customer experience. That's why I mentioned earlier about Betsy. Like if you can call an AI agent at 11:30 while you got stuck on the process and go through that, that right there is removing customer friction like in no time, right? So, and operationally, automation also helps lower cost structure, right? Which is very crucial because in mortgage, a small 25, 50 points cost advantage can dramatically impact our pricing. So we can basically translate this into the benefit and let our customers share the outcome of our automation improvement work. So Better has always positioned ourselves at this forefront of this transformation. We introduced one day mortgage. That was a very early on project when I led when I joined the company. That we were the early adopter for this fully digital income asset verification, real-time rate lock pricing engine, and now this AI powered voice agent plus underwriting decision support, right? You literally can get a mortgage with Better within a matter of 24 hours. That's just unheard of in the past from the industry, right? So these are not just incremental improvements. These are market changing innovations. And looking ahead, I believe AI and data will unlock a new wave of personalization, just helping customers not just getting a loan in a very efficient way, but also understand the best loan for their financial profile and timing, right? Better is well positioned to lead in that next phase. And we have the tech DNA, the energy, and the ambition to keep pushing the boundary. So we are not just a mortgage company with a good tech. We are a technology company, redefining the mortgage experience from the ground up. And as we scale our platform and deepen the partnerships across different financial ecosystem, I see Better not only driving the industry transformation, but basically also setting a new standard, one that hopefully others will get inspired to follow.
You know, the more I hear about Better's amazing story and your innovation journey, it also makes me curious about you as a leader. So we have a lot of aspiring women in the tech industry, and they are trying to build a career in this industry. What advice would you give to those people who are trying to develop technical skills in this industry in this era of Gen AI?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think first is stay curious and never stop learning because technology moves fast, right? From the time we started our AI journey till now, like the market already have so many different players, so many different new possibilities, right? So I think keeping up with the latest trend, whether that's AI, automation, cloud infrastructure, anything, that's essential. And you don't need to know how to code everything, but we do need to understand how technology works, where it is going, and how it can be leveraged to solve real problems. So I think read, ask questions, follow thought leaders, and just dive into those new tools. Even sometimes it's outside of your comfort zone, or even sometimes it doesn't look that relevant on the surface. I think a lot of this stuff eventually will get connected. And I think secondly is just don't be afraid of speak up or take on challenges that you are not sure you are ready for. I think growth really usually happens at the edge of your comfort zone. And I think some of the most pivotal moments in my career really came from saying yes before I had it all figured out. And that's where growth happened. I'm just having goosebumps even talking about this. I think just don't be afraid, just step up because there's a reason that all these kind of different tasks come to us, right? That present a different kind of learning opportunity. And I believe that leadership is not about having all the answers. It's about building bridges. The most impactful leaders are the ones that who can really just rally cross-functional teams, right? Align on this different diverse perspective and bring an entire village together to deliver something exceptional. And I think that's a skill that transcends job title and technical backgrounds. And that's how we build One Day Mortgage, because it's not just a tech product, it's a whole village across technology, operations, sales, everybody to do that, right? And I think above this, just be thoughtful and empathy. I think both to your customers and to your internal teams, that goes a long way, because I really believe that when we create a culture of care, people will feel safe to innovate, to speak up, and to stretch, right? And when people feel supported, then they will deliver their best work. So I think to all the future female leaders out there, just don't wait for permission to lead. Just speak up and be bold and stay true to what you believe in, because your voice and your ideas matters more than you think. And if you see a place where you can make a difference, go for it and be persistent, because even if you are not sure exactly where the path leads, take that first step, right? Then the next, and before you know it, you will be making a real impact and shine your own way. So go for it.
Take the initiative. I love it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. That's such a great advice. Um, I can say that I know you few months longer than Jiwan. I know, when we were talking about scheduling this, you mentioned that you just returned from a week-long meditation class, and that's such an impressive thing. Can you share, little bit about some of the spiritual practices that that help the technical professionals? Because obviously the work environment is always going to be challenging. How do you use some of those techniques to help and stay motivated?
Yeah. So this is a topic very dear to my heart. I started meditating many, many years ago, and initially, probably like many others, it's just that question of there must be something more in this life that's beyond just what's on the surface. And over time, what started as a curiosity has evolved into a much deeper and transformative practice for me. So I think in today's very fast-paced world, right, spirituality is often seen as something we do outside of work. Maybe it's a meditation in the morning, a yoga class after work, or go to church or temple on Sunday. And then we jump back to our day-to-day. There's meetings, sprints, deadlines, fire drill, performance review, all those things, right? So we chase impact, recognition, maybe next career milestone, a promotion, higher pay, or next paycheck. But I think here's the truth is that I really believe that spiritual life and work life are not separate. The real spiritual journey begins not when you close your eyes to meditate, but when you open your eyes again and engage with the world. And I say that because I have found that work can be one of the most powerful spiritual classroom. Why? Because it puts us face to face to our triggers, our ego, and our patience, or lack of it, right? So every meeting, every deadline, every difficult stakeholders or colleague is an opportunity for us to grow. And every time that inner reaction is triggered, whether that's frustration or sense of failure, self-doubt, like that just represents some kinks that we need to work out in our consciousness. And when we can bring that spiritual principle to our day-to-day work, like just principles like even mindedness, self-awareness, self-introspection, compassion, and service, then we transform not only how we work, but also who we are. And spiritualizing your work is not just meaning like you give up ambition, right? That means elevating it. My guru, Paramahansa Yogananda, he said, business is nothing but serving others materially in the best possible way. And that's actually a great product strategy because you want to understand your user and serve them in the most impactful ways possible, right? So when you can shift your motive from simply achieving for yourself to serving others with purpose, then something change. Like your joy expand, and often unexpectedly, so does your success. It will expand as well. So then how do we start, right? I think start small, like even just a few minutes of meditation to ground yourself each day, or a moment of reflection before you react to that very frustrating email, right? Those are small things that can help us to be more centered, and it helps you to become more intuitive person as well. And I think above all, just that intention to use your work not just as a path to income or title, but as a path to your inner growth. So I think when we can do that, when we can hold our peace, even in the busy state, when we can see every challenge as a teacher, then we are not really just succeeding in our career. You will be succeeding in life. And at the end, that's really the real measure of success.
That really resonates with me so much because like I realized just being true to yourself and also being really true at work at the same time really brings the better result to me as professional and as a human too. So thanks for sharing your story on that part. Just starting from your Gen AI innovation success stories to you as the human leader leading the charter, it has been an amazing story.
Yeah, and that's alignment, right? You need to be aligned in your heart, in your mind, and the universe comes together. And that just, yes, full circle. Yeah,
Yeah, line everything for in your term.
yeah, exactly. Yes.
Cool. I think that was all the questions we wanted to ask today. Thank you so much, Pauline, for sharing your inspiring stories to everybody. And we are excited to go back to the live stream and go back to real time conversation.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Yeah, yeah, no worries. Thank you for hosting me. Mhm.
Okay.
All right.
That was a conversation, inspiring, right?
Yes, totally.
Yeah. I love hearing how Falling connects the product management with your customers' needs, especially when it comes to simplifying such a complex process as a home ownership.
Yeah, absolutely. And like there are a few things that really stood out for me. Like when she started, like how she uses obviously cloud technologies to innovate faster. The emphasis on building such a strong data foundation to unlock what AI can do. Basically the potential it has, and also like her personal take on mindfulness and meditation as one of the way to lead with clarity and balance. I think it's such an important thing, and often gets overlooked.
hmm hmm I also really appreciated her advice for inspiring women in tech too. Like how important it is to keep learning various technical depths, but also step up into leadership roles. That is something I think all of us can take to heart no matter where we are in our careers.
Yeah, for sure. And for our listeners, we hope you are walking away with not just new ideas about the technology, but also inspiration to continue building on your own path. And whether you're an engineer or a product manager, or even just curious about the tech that powers the industries like real estate or finance, there is obviously something here for that.
Mhm. And also, as we close out, we'd love to hear from you. Share this episode with a friend, leave us a review, and tell us what resonated with you the most. Your feedback really helps us bring even more amazing women to the show and share more stories.
Yep, yep. And I know we also have some exciting episodes coming up. So make sure you're subscribed. We'll be talking to the leaders who are building so much on the AI, on the cloud, and so much more.
Yeah, also, we'd like to give big shout out to Faline. Thank you once again joining us, and thank you all. Thank you to all of our listeners for spending your time with us today. Until next time, keep learning, keep building, and keep inspiring. And we'll chat very soon.
Yeah, thank you so much. See you.
Thank you.